like refrigerator Perry and just how hard he hit. And my mama told me homecoming games are the best on the banks of those late fall, late cartwheel sunsets. I wanted to be just like Jeff Davis when I grew up, tackling Seminoles and Bulldogs, playing football in the mud. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. I feel really sorry for our sisters to the south, 'cause they come up here every other year and get punched in the mouth. Oh, and every home Saturday, it gives us the chills to watch those boys in orange run together down that hill. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh, somewhere up in heaven, Gaines Adams makes the sack, and that old Banks McFadden is the best damn running back. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Everybody, damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Happy hump day, and happy very close to the start of college football season. Only 3.5 more weeks left. Can everybody see my picture okay? It's not coming across on my screen. Just another thing for me to complain to YouTube about. Anyways, I'm assuming it's going to come across okay. A couple things I want to talk about today is, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Sports Fury, Josh and Sean. Last night we taped, they were kind enough to invite me on, and we taped an episode previewing the Carolina Panthers football season. And that went great. We had a lot of fun. I'm not going to give it away. So anybody who's not subscribed to them, please go do that. They will be posting it, they said, I think, sometime next week. So keep an eye out for that. I think you'll enjoy it. There are some things on there that I do want to talk about today. I'm not going to get too far into it, though. What's up? Air Max, Miranda Dansby, SEC Football Tube, UCF Jaguar. Thank you, sir. This is the poor man's OBS setup, but so far I'm happy with it, and I'm working on some other ones that look pretty cool too. But I'm not going to put them up until they get to where the way I want to look them. Falcons Fury, welcome to the stream, sir. I think I've seen you on the Sports Fury's chat room before, so welcome to Pigskin Pete's YouTube channel. Dan Mullet, how are you doing, sir? So, anyways, get right into it. You can tell from the title of this video, there's just a couple of things I want to talk about, and then I will definitely answer questions and take the hatred or the love, whichever you got to give me. I'm happy to take either one, and I can answer some questions for you. There was a publication I read today. I want to say it was USA Today. I could be wrong about that, because I'm wrong about most everything I say. So if you're going to fact check me on which publication it was, you're probably right and I'm probably wrong. I'm going to go ahead and admit that right now. anyways, they were projecting the pro prospects from every college team roster right now. Now, that doesn't mean who's going to go into the NFL next year. It's just the total team, how many pro prospects are on each team in the country. Clemson leads the nation right now with 9 pro prospects currently on their roster. Alabama was second with 7. Now, the second thing is the projection going into the 2019 draft is that there could possibly be 3 Clemson players go in the top 15 overall, possibly even top 10. If that happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen. If it does happen, if there's three of those 4 defensive linemen go in the top 15 overall, that would be the first time that's ever happened in the history of the NFL draft. So basically what I'm getting at is, if you're a Clemson fan, this is the year to capitalize on the talent. Now, we are one of the oldest and most veteran teams in the country compared to somebody like Alabama, who lost half their team to the draft last year. And Georgia lost quite a few too. So did Ohio State, so did Oklahoma. So you get where I'm going with this. But the time to capitalize on having a team like we have is now, because next year may be a little bit of a rebuild. Although last year was supposed to be a rebuild too, and we still made it to the playoff. But if we're looking at if our goal is national titles, this is our year to do it. Sometime within the next 2 or 3 years, this is our best chance, I think. What's up, Clemson Jacob? How you doing, sir? Yes, Clemson is very deep. You are right, sir. They are very, very deep. The other thing is, I made those. I went in depth, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing again with the Greg McElroy comments that he made about Clemson and Florida State. Comparing them to Texas A&M of all places, and Georgia and Alabama. So I was listening to Greg McElroy again today, and he's a complete flip-flopper. So they came out with the coaches poll yesterday, ranking, the top 25 teams preseason, which really means nothing. And it's not any shock to anybody. Alabama 1, Clemson 2. That's pretty much how everybody has it, whether it's the AP poll or the coaches poll. But Greg McElroy goes out of his way, after trashing Clemson in the ACC for the past 2 weeks, to say that he thinks that Clemson should be ahead of Alabama and they should be number 1. So, I mean, is this guy bipolar, schizophrenic? I don't know. Is he off his meds? I don't know if he just tries to piss off everybody he can piss off. I mean, he's a former Alabama player. Apparently, from what I can tell, Alabama players or fans don't like him. Clemson fans certainly don't like him. Maybe he's just one of these trolls like Danny Cannell, who just tries to piss off everybody in the world, and he thinks that that's what he's going to do to get himself more notoriety. I don't know. But let's see here. I'm trying to catch up on some of your comments. What's up, Go 1330? Is it just seniors or everyone who might be eligible? It's neither. It's the entire team. So, for instance, Go 1330, it's even freshmen. So Trevor Lawrence is on that list. He's one of the 9. So it's the entire roster who's projected to go to the NFL and get drafted into the NFL, not go to the NFL. So that's the way they're looking at it. So right now, Clemson has 9 professional athletes on their roster. Alabama has 7. And that changes year to year, of course, like based on for the reason I just said. I mean, I bet you 6 of those 9 for Clemson are on the defensive side of the ball this year. So after they get drafted next year, their number's going to go down. So it's very fluid thing year to year. I'm just saying that this year Clemson is leading the country in that category. What's up, Billy Dawson? Mark Dudley, welcome to the stream, guys. I really appreciate everybody showing up at this very weird hour of the day. My schedule is so, I'm not going to go into my schedule because nobody cares, but my schedule right now is just so weird that this is the only time during the day that I actually have any time. So that will change. I think I maybe announced this yesterday, but I am going to be setting a regular schedule for streams during the football season. It's not going to be at this time during the week. I'm going to have 3 scheduled streams, 2 during the week, probably Tuesday and Thursday, sometime in the afternoon, and then 1 on Saturday, football day, during a game. So I'll let you guys know. What's up, T-Mac Rock? And I think it'll be better if people can know when I'm coming on so that if they don't get a notification, because I'm getting a lot of people talking about they're not getting notifications, which is really starting to irritate me. On YouTube's end, I don't know what their problem is with me. I actually might know what their problem is with me. The fact that I send them 50,000 emails telling them to fuck off 50 different times might be the reason, but I'm not going to speculate. Let's see. Getting ready for work yourself. Yeah, I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning. I was on late last night, recording with Josh and Sean from the Sports Fury. And I was up. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I can't wait till my sleep schedule gets back to somewhat normal, which will happen right around football season. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm not a walking zombie every day like I am right now. So anyways, one thing that we did talk about, and like I said, I'm not going to spoil their video. It's their video, not mine. But just one of the things that came up. And in that conversation that I had with them last night, we, of course, because the Browns are on the Panthers' schedule this year, we play the Browns, I forget what week it is. I want to say it's somewhere in the middle of the season, maybe week 8, 7, something like that. We play in Cleveland. But the conversation came up about what do we think about Cleveland's going to be this year. I am a believer that Cleveland is on the way up. Now, they've only won one game in 2 seasons. So to say that they're going to be, a playoff team, I'm not saying that. I think their ceiling is to win 7 or 8 games, but I think they'll win at least 6. And that's just me. They seem to agree. So maybe I'm not as crazy as everybody thinks I am. But even though I am really crazy. What do I think about Clemson playing A&M this year at College Station? SEC Football Tube. I've addressed this several times. I know that people are saying that game is supposed to be a trap game for Clemson. I don't think it is. I think that being that it's Jimbo Fisher's first year, he doesn't have the kind of talent that he's going to be recruiting to get in there. He's already recruiting for 2019 and top 3 I think he's listed at right now. So Jimbo Fisher is an elite recruiter. Problem is Jimbo Fisher has not been recruiting at Texas A&M for the past 3 years. Clemson's talent is head and shoulders above Texas A&M. So I don't care if it's played in Texas A&M. I don't care if it's played in Cambodia, Australia, England, Mars. Doesn't matter. I think that Clemson's going to beat them because they don't have an offense that can compete with Clemson's defensive line. What's up to Goat Watson? How you doing, sir? And for anybody who's saying, well, if Kelly Bryant, Kelly Bryant, it doesn't matter if Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence, Chase Bryce, Dabo Sweeney could put shoulder pads on and go out there and play in that game. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Yeah, SEC Football 2, Clemson will beat them. If Clemson were to drop that game week 2, that would be the most shocking, one of the most shocking losses that I could imagine them happening to them this year. Now, obviously, if they lost to somebody like Syracuse again, that would be massively shocking. But just as far as games that you think somebody's supposed to win versus not, I think that is one that I'd be shocked if they lost. Clemson Jacob says Clemson wins by 3 touchdowns. Billy Dawson, with you talking about Cleveland. Yeah, I was talking about the Browns. Talking about the Browns because I think that the Browns, I'm very impressed with the moves they made. When's the last time anybody said that they were impressed with the moves the Browns made? I mean, I think the last time anybody said that, Ronald Reagan was president. Clemson 49, Texas A&M 30. I think that's a good point margin. I don't know that Clemson will score 49, and I don't know that Texas A&M will score 30. So I'd take that down 10 points apiece. I'd say 39-20 is probably more along the lines. I don't see Texas A&M putting up more than 20 on Clemson's defense. What's up, Tigers? I hope you're all ready for the Charlotte beatdown. Dennis Wilson is in the house, and Dennis Wilson has either already been hitting the bong at an epic measure, or he's been hitting the bottle, or possibly even both. I'm betting both. That's just my opinion. But welcome to the stream, Dennis Wilson, my favorite lovable troll. Yes, sir. Roll up another one and smoke it, sir, because you clearly are high out of your mind. Let's see here. Hey, DeGoat Watson, man, are you still in Egypt? T Mac Rock says, how soon do you think Trevor Lawrence takes over? T Mac Rock, um, I'll give you my opinion now, and then ask me again in 5 minutes, and I'll have a different opinion on that. I literally change my opinion on the quarterback situation on a daily, sometimes even hourly basis. I literally might get off of this stream today and have a different opinion than what I'm about to tell you right now. That's the reality of the whole quarterback thing at Clemson. It makes my head spin. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It gives me goosebumps. It makes me queasy, and all of the above. So I think that Kelly Bryant is going to be the starter until he loses a game. That's what I think right now. I think you'll see Kelly Bryant week 1. You will see Trevor Lawrence come in and play some, particularly in that first game, maybe even at Texas A&M. But I think that Kelly Bryant is a starter until he starts and loses, or he gets way down in a game. Now, if he goes to College Station and they get down by 2 touchdowns by some miracle, that might be the transition where Trevor Lawrence takes over. But if Kelly Bryant goes into College Station as a starter and they win by 3 touchdowns, good luck getting him out, because they're going to win the next 7 games after that. Or they're going to be heavily favored in 7 games after that. 1970 says Clemson 41-17. SEC Football Tube says he agrees that Kelly will start. I just don't see Kelly not starting until he loses. But again, ask me again an hour from now, I might tell you something different. Air Max too late. You're already foolish, sir. That's sort of the pot calling the kettle black there, isn't it, Dennis Wilson? Coming from somebody who makes the most crazy, outlandish, asinine statements in the history of all of college football, you're calling somebody else crazy. Yeah. ETN, what do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. So DeGoat Watson is still in Egypt. He is practically an Egyptian. I don't know what language they speak over there. Is Egyptian a language? I doubt it. I'm sure it's some sort of Arabic. But I'm sure that you are fluent in it by now, sir. Egyptian. You're fluent in Egyptian. DeGoat Watson says he wants to see Texas in the playoffs. You're probably not going to see Texas in the playoffs. The closest that Texas will get to the playoffs is winning the Big 12 with 2 losses, which will not be enough to get in. To think that Texas is going to go from dumpster to 7 wins to playoffs in 1 year is highly unlikely. I think it's more likely that they win 9 or 10 games. And if they're going to even be thinking about getting into a playoff situation, we're looking at 2019-2020 timeframe. SEC Football 2. Pete, you are awesome, man. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you saying that, because most people tell me I'm an idiot. I must be married to my cousin. I have an extra chromosome. I don't know anything about football. I don't know anything about anything. And so for you to tell me I'm awesome is awesome, sir. So thank you. ETN would never get over 10 yards in Charlotte against football's best defense. Dennis Wilson. Dennis Wilson. I'm just going to leave that alone. It's not even worth answering that. Whoever says I'm an idiot is an idiot. I agree, sir. I completely agree. The GOAT, do you know if Kelly's injured? If Clemson has a chance to lose, it's going to come from the Florida State game, but not against A&M, but who knows? Go 13-30. I agree with you partly. I don't care whose Florida State coach is. They still are one of the most talented teams in the country, from a pure talent standpoint. The 2 teams that worry me the most in the ACC, well, in the Atlantic Division right now, in Clemson's division, I'm leaving Miami out of this discussion because we don't play them in the regular season. Florida State and NC State. It's just that simple. So, yes, Florida State is a trap game. That game is in Florida State this year, so you are absolutely right, sir. Dennis is on crack. Dennis is on crack if you mixed it with heroin and PCP. It's a new drug called the Dennis Wilson. That's what it's called. He's high on Dennis Wilson. Yeah. I think Clemson beats Carolina 42-20. Yeah, what was so 2 years ago it was 56-7. Last year was what? What was last year? 35-10? Is that right? Something like that. 35-10. So that's a 25-point difference. I'm going to give Carolina the benefit of the doubt and say that they only lose by 17 this year. So 34-17, something like that is where I'm going to go with that. Who said that Kelly was injury prone? Kelly Bryant started well, no, he even started the game he got hurt in. Kelly Bryant started 14 games last year. He played in 14 games and started in every single one of them. So how is he injury prone? Yeah, I don't know. If that's injury prone, then I hope my whole team is injury prone. Where my girlfriend, Tiger Nation, I have her special made turnover chain for Charlotte. Dennis Wilson, you crack me up, dude. Dennis Wilson, you guys need to worry about getting to Charlotte before you start talking about beating Clemson in Charlotte. You do realize that you have to play an entire well, first of all, you got to play LSU week 1, which I do hope Miami wins, by the way. But you got to beat them. Then, we don't have to beat them, but you better beat them. Then you have to put up with the likes of terrible teams like Duke in North Carolina and hope that you can get past Pitt and Virginia Tech before you start worrying about Clemson. So, Air Max, the Legend Killer, says, Boston College scares him. Boston College has that A.J. Dillon kid, the running back, who's probably a top 5 running back in America. And Boston College has a pretty good defense every single year. They're just not deep enough. But they're capable of beating anybody on any given day. I say the same thing about North Carolina State. They're capable of beating anybody in America on a bad day if the other team's having a bad day and they're having a good day. They're just not deep enough to sustain that for an entire season. So Boston College is a scary game. We played them on the road this year. I just think that we're too much for them. Eric Dungy is the definition of injury prone. Is he the quarterback for Syracuse? He's really good. But yes, he is injury prone. He's been injured a lot. Kelly had that boot. Once you hurt that ankle, it ain't the same. Are you talking about Kelly Bryant? Or are you talking about Kelly somebody else? Dakota Watson says, I hope we finally have a running back who can block. That's our running back weakness. Yeah. So last year, that was Travis Etienne was a true freshman. He was an explosive runner, and he was on a scale from 1 to 100, 100 being the best blocker, 1 being the worst. He was a -5. I mean, he was so bad in pass protection. It was borderline pitiful and embarrassing. But I think that from what Dabo says and from what the offensive coordinators say, is that he's made massive, massive improvements from freshman to sophomore year in his blocking capabilities. That's going to help us out big time. It's going to help Kelly Bryant or Trevor Lawrence or whoever's back there slinging the rock massively if they can step up that pass protection from the running back position. Miami fans do realize they scored 3 points against us, right? No, they don't realize that, Clemson Jacob. They're living in fantasy land. I don't know if they're dreaming in anime, whatever that is. I just heard the kids talking about it. I don't know what anime is. I'm assuming it's the Japanese cartoons where everybody looks like they're Dennis Wilson. But yeah, if they score 6 points on us this year, that'll be a feat and a phenomenon. So, yeah. What's up, Rocha? Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream, and thank you for joining us, sir. 19 Savage be begging Alonzo 1219 for turnover chains. You mean the turnover chains or those Miami chains that he gets made? because I'm gonna get one of them chains made for Clemson. He's supposed to hook me up with the lady that does that. Those things are nice. Of course, it's not gonna be a Miami one. It's gonna be a Clemson one. She does all teams apparently, whatever sport you want. They're pretty cool looking though. I will say that, but they're not turnover chains. They're just like gold chains. What is funny is Miami rolled Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame fell right off the map last year, big time. And I think that they got so demoralized by Miami that they just, collapsed after that. Will Eubanks says, F South Carolina. Will Eubanks, I say that every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed. So we are right on the same page there. You're saying I'm lagging? According to YouTube, my stream health is at full strength. Yeah, so are you saying that my stream is lagging? It's not storming here, no. I don't know what the problem is, fellas. Is it better now? Shit. All right, I don't know what the problem is. How is it now? All right. I heard it's been raining and storming bad in South Carolina. I hope it's not that because, yeah. So, the weather's been terrible in South Carolina for the past 2 weeks. The past couple of days have been really nice. So, you should be okay. You're coming to South Carolina next week to go, Watson? Oh, you're coming probably home. I forget you live in South Carolina. BYU will never join a Power 5 conference. Ever. Well, they're an independent team, right? I don't think they want to join a Power 5 conference. They could if they wanted. They could easily join the Pac-12 or the Big 12 if they wanted to. If they were really serious about it. Let's see. Any call-ins? Not today, sir. Not today. No call-ins today. Clemson fans about to be butthurt after Charlotte, and Jackpot will be celebrating after South Carolina beats y'all. Oh my God, your trolling is getting worse. Your trolling is what I like about you, Dennis Wilson. But you're starting to disappoint me a little bit here, sir. And like I said a million times, you better get to Charlotte before you start worrying about winning in Charlotte. Will Michigan definitely? I don't know what that question is. Dennis Wilson says Miami 52, LSU 3. I hope so. We can agree on that, Dennis Wilson, although I don't think that's going to be the score. That would be funny as hell if it did happen. BYU won't join because of their religious outlooks and rules. Yeah, well, good for them. I'm not going to miss a single day or night of sleep worrying about what BYU does. I could give two craps about BYU. If they want to continue to be a joke of a program and hate gay people and want 50 wives, then good for them. They had more wives than they have touchdowns in the past 10 years. So, did South Carolina lose their last two games to Clemson like 85-21? Yes, they did, Will Eubanks. As a matter of fact, Jake Bentley has started twice against Clemson now and only has one touchdown against them in 8 quarters. 6 points in 8 quarters. That's just Jake Bentley's record against Clemson. Embarrassing. He asked Notre Dame or Michigan. Notre Dame or Michigan, what? Am I picking that game? That game's in Notre Dame, isn't it? I'm picking the home team in that. So I'm going with Notre Dame. I think it's a Notre Dame. Miami will lose to Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. Miami 9-3. So Miami plays Boston College this year, huh? Is that their cross-division game this year? That's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't think they'll lose to Pitt again. First of all, that game's in Miami. I think that Miami's a very good home team. They have to go on the road to Virginia Tech. That's their biggest game of the year, in my opinion. Certainly, their biggest division game is against Virginia Tech, and that is going to be a good one. So they very well could drop one to Virginia Tech, and if they do drop one to Virginia Tech, they better hope that Virginia Tech slips up a couple times somewhere else in the year, or they could steal that division from right out underneath their nose. What's up, College Football Maniac? B Spooky says Ohio State won't lose a game this year. I disagree. I mean, when's the last time Ohio State went undefeated? Exactly. So, I'm going to be laughing like hell if Miami doesn't make it to Charlotte. I don't really care who, from the other division, I don't care who makes it to Charlotte. I care about Clemson. I care about what they do. I care about them beating whoever they play, no matter who it is. But something tells me Dennis Wilson would disappear for a while if they didn't. Do I know the reason on the hate for Harbaugh? He's asking Billy that. Yeah, no, I don't like Harbaugh. You know what? I want to clarify this right now. I don't hate Harbaugh. I don't hate anybody, first of all, unless you're a Gamecock player or coach. I do hate them, so I don't want to say I don't hate anybody. But my problem with Harbaugh is that he's overrated. My problem with Michigan is that they're overrated. Everybody talks about them as if there's something special. They haven't done anything special in 30 years, people. Harbaugh has never finished better than third in his own division. He's making $9 million a year. He's overrated. All we hear about every year is how great Michigan's going to be, But they never live up to it. I don't hate Harbaugh. I hate the fact that they get so much credit for not doing anything. That's what I hate. It's that simple. It's annoying. If let's flip the script here. Okay? Let's flip it to if you are a Michigan fan and Michigan had been to the college football playoff 3 times in a row the past 3 years, had won a national title in the past 3 years. And then there's Clemson in the ACC, finishing 3rd in the Atlantic Division every year. They can't beat their rival. They lose to South Carolina every year in those 3 years. Okay? They can't beat NC State. All right? They can't beat Wake Forest or Florida State. But every year you're going to talk about how Clemson's going to be in the playoff next year and how they're going to win the ACC. That's an asinine prospect to say that. And it's the exact same thing is going on at Michigan. So you have to look at it through the eyes of somebody who's not a fan or not emotionally invested in the Big Ten. Because I'm not emotionally invested in Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, none of them. I'm looking at it as an objective outsider. And what I see is mediocrity at Michigan for a massively overpaid, overhyped coach. That's it. Am I comparing the ACC to the Big Ten East? Well, sir, the ACC has more national titles this decade than the Big Ten does. So yes, I am comparing the two. You can laugh your ass off all you want. Pixie and Pete, do you think Clemson will be 3-7 wins program if Dabo Swinney left, like all those other Gamecocks and Alabama fans are saying? No. I mean, do I think that if Dabo Swinney left, that they would be a top 5 team every year like they are now? No, but they wouldn't. He's going to leave the pro. If he did leave, which I don't think he's going to, he would leave the program in better condition than he found it in. So no, they wouldn't be a 3-7 win team every year. They'd still be a good team. They just wouldn't be as good as they are right now. TCU will get effed by Ohio State. Be Spooky, are you a OU fan? Mark Dudley, how many national titles does the ACC have compared to the Big Ten? You mean in lifetime? Because how far back do you want to go, sir? Yeah, Michigan has 11 national titles before 1950. Were you alive before 1950? Did you watch football before 1950, sir? That's what I want to know. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about recent history. This decade. It's 2018, sir. It's not 1980. It's not 1970. It's not 1960. So whatever happened 50 years ago is completely irrelevant to now. Keep living in the past if you want to. I choose to live in the present, in reality. Am I the only one that thinks that Wisconsin will win the Big Ten? No, I think Wisconsin has a very good chance to... 1997 was Michigan's last national championship. No, it wasn't, sir. That was a disputed national championship. They have a half of a national title. They split it with Nebraska. Look it up. Go on Wikipedia and type in Nebraska National Championships, and it will be the same year that Michigan claims it. And before that, the last time was like 1950-something or 40-something. I don't know. 70 friggin' years ago. Michigan has the most regular season wins in the history of any college football program. Meanwhile, they have one half of one modern title. And they're supposed to be the best. Yeah, right. Not buying it. I'll tell you one thing. If I was a Michigan fan, I don't know why Michigan fans love this guy so much. If they were paying Dabo Swinney $9 million a year to finish third every year in his own division, I'd want him the hell out. I'd be calling for his head right now. But you keep him around for as long as you want to. Keep him around and just let him continue to lose to Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan State every single year. If you feel like watching that, that's your problem, not mine. We'll be waving by you on our way to the playoffs every year and giving you the middle finger while you're drowning in mediocrity. Pete, if the Big 12 is to expand, who should they get? I think that the Big 12 should definitely pick up Houston. Houston I think that they could evolve into a really good Power 5 program if they had the resources, obviously, and the money that would be involved with joining a major conference. Outside of that, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams, even SMU. There's a couple good teams in Texas that definitely could fit that mold. You could even go a little bit further east and get somebody out of the Sun Belt Conference, somebody like Troy, Louisiana Tech, something like that. That would be a good fit. Boise, that's another really good one. Boise State would be a perfect fit for them. Be Spooky. Be Spooky. So I don't know if you've seen my stuff on Urban Meyer. I don't even really want to get into it, to be honest with you. I mean, you guys can chat about it all you want to. I don't really want to get into it. First of all, I don't care. I mean, if I start talking about it, I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole that I won't be able to come back from. So I'm just not gonna get into it. But I have not been calling for his head. I used to think that there was no way he could survive this. I'm starting to think now there's probably about a 50-50 shot that Urban could stay. They definitely want to keep him. There's no doubt about that. But if we lose to Boise, it would be another WVU situation. Urban Max, the Legend Killer, says, say bye-bye to Urban. Oh, man. Yeah. You can't if you turn on ESPN or if you turn the radio on, it's hard to get. I mean, the opinions on whether or not he's going to be fired or not are just so far all over the place. It's hard to get a real grasp on what's going to happen there. I really have no idea. North Dakota State. North Dakota State's an FCS school. They're not big enough of a school to be a Power 5 program. If that's what you're saying, I don't know. DeGoat Watson says he thinks they'll just suspend Urban Meyer for 6 games. I've heard that. I've heard 6 games, 4 games, 2 games, a season even, which is weird. If you suspend somebody for a whole season, isn't that just as bad as doing something to get you fired? I don't know. I don't get it. Suspend Urban Meyer for 1 drive. There's a good one. Crazy Dog 99, welcome to the stream, sir. Crazy Dog 99 says opposing fans want Urban to be fired so bad. I don't care. Well, I'm not in the Big Ten. I'm not a Big Ten, opposing fan. So I don't have any real skin in the game. I mean, Ohio State's 0-3 against Clemson, lifetime. So the fact that Ohio State would scare me is a ridiculous prospect. I could really care less. I hope he doesn't get fired so we can beat up on him some more in the playoffs if we see him there. Just like old times. Yeah. Hope Myers stays. We own him. Exactly. That's what I just said to Goat Watson. Yeah. Great minds think alike, and you are clearly a genius and amazing for thinking that. So, yeah. Yeah, we don't play him every year, and when we do play him, we beat him. So, Urban Meyer to Texas offensive coordinator. That's the other thing, is if Urban Meyer did get fired for some reason. We're playing the if card right now, okay? If he did get fired, do you guys think he would just retire? Or do you think he would go become a head coach in another major program? Or do something like what, who said that? Whoever said that, 19 Savage said, and go be a coordinator somewhere. Hey, Anna Carson, how are you? Thank you for joining the stream. Will Jones, welcome to the stream, sir. I tend to believe that Urban would take, if he did get fired, would take a year off and then pop up somewhere in a major program. Possibly even in the SEC. Somewhere like LSU. Or something like that. Ole Miss. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we have another female on here. So we have, it looks like Anna's joining us. And that officially makes 2 females who subscribe and watch Pigskin Pete, which if they subscribe and watch Pigskin Pete, they are clearly strong, fierce, independent women who are probably beautiful too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching Pigskin Pete. That's a given. Dennis Wilson. Oh, man. Anna Carson says, Anna Carson, you're a male? Oh. Anna Carson. Shit. Anyway, I'll answer your question, sir. Anna Carson, what's up, dude? My dude. Anna Carson is my dude. All right. Do I think we'll go undefeated? He says. No, I think we'll go 11-1. Yeah. I don't know why I fall for that trap. I know Miranda Dansby's a woman because her boyfriend is college football maniac, and I've seen a picture of her. Anna is not your real name. Well, no crap, Anna. You might want to reconsider your YouTube name and make it something a little more masculine than Anna Carson. Uh-oh. Dennis Wilson, you tried to flirt with Anna? That's going to come back to haunt you, sir. You called him Boo Boo. Oh shit. Yeah, I think that no, I college football maniac says 11-1 probably upset by Florida State or Texas A&M. I'd say Florida State or NC State is more likely to beat them than Texas A&M is. So we'll see. They could possibly go 12-0. I mean, you never know, but. Max the Legend says, Dennis, bro, you lost your college football card. Oh. Hey, Anna Carson, Dennis Wilson said he wants to meet you in Charlotte during the ACC championship game. He can't wait to meet you. Yeah. Or Boston College. Yeah, I don't know about that. I do agree that Boston College is dangerous. I don't think that they... I've said this before. I went to the game, but the Boston College game last year when it was at Clemson. Took my son for the first time to a game. He loved it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Boston College hung in there strong for 3 quarters, and then Clemson blew them off the map in the 4th quarter. They just don't have the depth to last for 4 quarters. Clemson just has too much depth for Boston College to be able to compete with them for 4 quarters. Okay, it makes more sense then. Anna's your wife's name. Right. I see 12-0, but almost impossible to do that like last year was stupid. So, Dabo Swinney has gone. I don't know if people forget this. Of course, Clemson fans don't forget this. But Dabo went, what was it, 2015. The first year that we went to the national title and lost to Bama. We were undefeated. We were 14-0. No. Yeah, 14-0 going into the national title game. And then lost to Bama. So, Nick Saban's gone undefeated once. Dabo's gone undefeated once. It's very rare for it to happen. But it could happen. What's up, Blake Ellis? How you doing, sir? If I'm going to the South Carolina game, let's meet up. Yeah, listen. DeGoat Watson, are you still going to live in the Clemson Greenville area? I know you graduated. Are you still going to live there, or are you going to be moving somewhere else? Because I'll let you know. I don't know what game I'm going to. It probably won't be the South Carolina game. I'm going to go to at least one game this year, though. And not just you, but anybody who's there in the area who wants to tailgate with me or meet up and tailgate before the game. I mean, it would be awesome. So I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know which game I'm going to. It probably won't be the South Carolina one, though. I don't think. Billy Dawson says he hates going undefeated because it seems like you lose the big game. I agree, sir. So when Alabama went undefeated, they lost to Clemson. When Clemson went undefeated, they lost to Alabama. Yeah, a loss really can get your players to get their ass in gear and play better. I agree. Anna Carson says he wants to go to Syracuse game. You want that revenge, huh? That's what you want. You want to go to that game for that revenge factor. So you still stay with your parents? Yeah. Greenville is a nice town. I really do like. It's my second favorite city in the state of South Carolina. Obviously, my favorite is Charleston. That's where I live. But if I was going to live in any other city in the state of South Carolina other than Charleston, it would definitely be Greenville. Greenville's a nice town. And it's close to Clemson, which is a big plus if you like to go to sporting events. Duke. You like to see Clemson play Duke. Is that game in Clemson? I think that game's in Duke, isn't it? I don't know. I have to look at the schedule. I can't remember. So, Ryan Stanfield, sir, what's up? How you doing, sir? Dennis Wilson says, Syracuse smacked down Clemson in the Carrier Dome. Yeah, but not as bad as Clemson smacked down Miami and Charlotte, sir. And not only that, you did lose to Pitt. Yeah. So, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, sir. You went to Kent State, BC, Georgia Tech, Citadel, and South Carolina. I'm trying to think of all the. Now I can't even list them all. The Clemson games I've been over the years. I've been to NC State, Wake Forest, Boston College, Notre Dame, which was absolutely epic and amazing. The LSU Chick-fil-A Bowl game back in 2000. What was that? 12 on New Year's Eve. That was the Notre Dame game and the LSU Bowl game in Atlanta were the two best college football games I've ever been to, and it's not even close. Now, I did go to a Virginia Tech game in Virginia Tech when Clemson played them. That was pretty awesome too, of course, because Clemson won. But yeah, so I've been lucky to go to some of the most notable and epic Clemson games over the past 10 years or so. I've been very lucky. Never been to a playoff game or a national championship game, though. I really wish I had gone to one of those. The tickets, though. We looked at the tickets for the national championship in Tampa. Who can afford that? I mean, really? Thousands of dollars for one ticket? I mean, that's something that's got to change. I don't get that at all. I mean, who can afford that? I'm not breaking out my life savings out of the savings account, my kid's college account, to go to one game. That's stupid and ridiculous. So Ryan Stanfield says, "Hey, you can only go to what you can go to." Yeah, I've also been very lucky that my wife's the company that my wife works for has season tickets to Clemson games, and so they usually give us a pair of tickets every year to one game. Last year it was the Boston College game. The year before that, it was the Wake Forest game, I think. And the year before that I think it was NC State. It's somewhere in that order. But we've been lucky enough to go to one game every year that we haven't had to pay for the tickets. Now, we did pay for the Notre Dame tickets, which were $400 a piece. And we had to pay another $400 for our hotel room. That ended up being a $1,000 trip for one day, just for me and my wife to go to. But it was well worth it. I mean, awesome game. Millionaires can. Yeah, well, I'm not a millionaire. So, I mean, I don't know how many millionaires you know. I'm sure there's no millionaires on the stream. Maybe there are. But most people aren't millionaires. Most college football fans certainly aren't millionaires. Went to an Arkansas A&M game last year. Pretty entertaining. Looked like a Big 12 team. The GOAT Watson says he would go to watch Deshaun Watson in the Super Bowl, even if it's $2,000. Well, if I could swing that financially, I would do that too. He's definitely my favorite football player of all time at any level, and to watch him play in a Super Bowl, I can't even put into words how awesome that would be. You have a friend who's an Arkansas fan? My best friend's an Arkansas fan. I've been to Fayetteville on their campus. Pretty campus. Although the state of Arkansas is a dump. No offense to anybody who's from Arkansas. But Fayetteville is a pretty campus. I went to a baseball game there when they played Vanderbilt one year. It was a good game. So. Dennis Wilson, Dennis Wilson. I don't know what your drink of choice is. I don't know if it's Hennessy, vodka, Hypnotic, if you're hitting the sticky icky, but you, sir, have lost your friggin' mind. And you've always been a little bit crazy, but today you are extra high, sir. All right, guys. It has been it's been 55 minutes. I was only supposed to stay on for 45 minutes. I've got somewhere to be. I wish I could hang out with you guys all day long and chat because it's so much fun, and you guys are so awesome that I could do that if I had the time to do that. So I will probably do a stream tomorrow afternoon somewhere around the same time. It's just going to depend on what time I get home. But anyways, Again, thank you to everybody who stopped in here. There's too many of you guys to name right now. Thank you to Josh and Sean from the Sports Fury. Make sure you subscribe to them and go check out. They'll be posting that video next week. I think you'll like it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you to everybody who showed up, all the mods, all the new people. Anna Carson, thank you for showing up and letting us know that you're actually a man. So next time I know that. It's always important to know that. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day. Stay awesome. Until next time, Pigskin Pete checking out.